Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Tammy Ozturk, the designer of badbobbin.com, and today I'm going to show you how I make the tweezer pouch. I had a customer who requested this once they saw the other cuticle cutters I did and wanted one for her tweezers. And it also fits the larger nail clippers as well. Those fit in here as well. Some of them might be able to fit a lipstick in here, a chapstick, different things. You can check it out, try it out. And it was made for tweezers and a little snap case. So let's get started as to what we need. We're doing it with vinyl and one piece of felt. So your first piece of vinyl will be 5 3/4. Your piece of felt will be 5 3/4. And then for the pocket, we have a piece that is 4 1/4 by 2 inches. So each one is by 2 inches. All right. I have one set of cam snaps, my rotary cutter, my inexpensive 99-cent store scissors. I have my punch and my hand press, or I also have a table press, which I use, but you can use your hand press as well. We have a 5x7 hoop, which is what it will fit in with a tearaway stabilizer, and you can also use cutaway if you'd like. I have a tearaway, and my straight ruler for getting my straight edges when I'm ready to cut it out. Everything's here, very simple, minimal of material, and very cute for this nice little tweezer pouch or whatever you'd like to use it for. I do suggest that beforehand, not sure, I don't think it does because I didn't try, but you're not going to be able to, you're barely going to get it to fit. It might work. That's one way of getting it into your pouch. I did it prior to, so I'm going to show you how I do, where I have the snap placed on here ahead of time before I actually go to sewing it. So I'm going to take that 4 1/4 by 2 piece, and I'm going to measure a 1/2 inch down and in the middle, and that's where I'm going to put my snap. So I'm going to measure on the table. This is my 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to go towards the middle. Make my hole, and then this is where I'm going to put, and make sure that your top edge here is the straight edge, because this will be the top part of your pocket, so you want to make that edge really straight. So when you cut this piece out, top edge will be straight. And then this will receive the female portion at the bottom. And I always, it's me, I don't know if anyone else does the same thing, but just it's kind of my policy, is the male part is always at the top, the female is always the receiving, so it's on the main part of the project. And that's just me. My snap tabs are the same way, as where I use the male on top, female at the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and hand press this. And for me to get leverage, because I have wrist problems, I use the edge of the table. Put the handle on the edge of the table. I know it's hard to see. Let me see if I can move it over a little bit for you. I'm going to take the handle, set on the edge of the table, and I'm going to firmly press down and let up, and it's worked. So we'll move back a little bit. There we go. And I have my snap ready to go, and my 2 pieces. My felt is going to go in the back here, and my pocket. I will save that part for when we get done. So let's head to the machine. See you there. Okay, here we are at the machine. I have my pattern already in my machine, set up and ready to go. All the color stops and everything are ready. The customer also ordered something else. So I'm going to utilize my hoop and my stabilizer, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this also in the same hoop and utilize my space. So I've got it all lined up and ready to go where I'm going to have it do it. So I'm going to pop the hoop in, and the first step is to stitch out the placement line. Alright, pull the hoop out. We have our placement line. It's not real easy to see, but I've placed, it's in white, sorry. So I have my placement line. I'm going to turn my hoop over to the back side. Use my handy lighter. I don't want those little threads hanging out that were at the top here, so I just kind of singe them a little bit with the lighter and move them inwards. I don't want them hanging out when I go to cut. And I'm going to do this way for a reason, is because usually the nice stitching is on the top. So you want the nicer stitching, the most of it being exposed or to the nicer side of your pattern or your project. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do my felt on the back. So I use a spray. I have a spray booth over there. So I use a spray, little tacky spray. I use Aleene's. And I'm going to place it on the back, turn it over, and press it down a little bit. I make sure that it's inside my little stitch line so I can see through. And then I'm going to take my larger one, the 5 3/4 one, 2 by 5 3/4. That'll go on top. My quick spray. I'm going to put that right on top, make sure it's lined up in the middle. And then it's lined up on my top and bottom. We're all set. Press it down, make sure we're all together. I'm going to place it back in the machine, and I always lift up a little bit just to make sure that the bottom clears the plate and it doesn't get caught. And let's go ahead and stitch out the next four steps, which is going to be a full tack down. It's going to be where we're going to place our snap. It's going to be the two tab lines where we're going to place the top of our pocket, and it's also going to be a fold line. Not sure which order, sorry, but those are the 5 it's going to stitch out. Okay, I'm going to take it out of my hoop. I'm sorry, I'm going to take my hoop out of the machine, take a look at it, make sure everything's good on the front, make sure everything's sewed well on the back. I'm going to trim a few threads. Can't find my right scissors. These are not my favorites. I like my 4-inch curve, but I can't find them. I'm going to pull some of the threads out that are unnecessary. Get rid of those now. That way they don't bunch up when you go to do your next stitching that might overlap it. Okay. Okay, got rid of some of those. Now my pocket, where I had my snap, I took a piece of tape and I covered over the snap so it doesn't get caught on the plate. And we're going to, I have my little label. This is where I add my label. There is a video on how I make my own labels. Go ahead and check it out. That'd be great. Give me a thumbs up. Hope you like it. And then there's little marks. They're hard to see. You really don't need them, but they're kind of there. It only did 2 little tiny stitches, but it didn't even catch the thread. Some places it will. So this is where you can kind of guess, because it's going to cover it anyways. So this is where it's about 1/4 inch down. So I'm going to place my top edge straight from my fold line of my flap, about 1/4 inch down. Make sure the tape is there. I'm going to make sure that my snap is right in the middle. I'll show you here. So the snap lines right up with the other snap hole, so it's right in the center. And I'm going to make sure, put my label in there, right at the edge. When I do that and I have a snap on it, because it bulks a little bit, I make sure I tape all my sides. That way it's lined up straight. My top edge isn't going to twist by accident. So, and especially up where the bulk is by the snap, that's where I want to make sure we're straight and even. So I'm going to put some tape on those edges. So there we go. I have tape at the bottom, the sides on where my snap is, and right up at the top. Okay, so those are taped down. I'm going to flip it kind of quick. Make sure I'm going to push down to make sure my tape is secure. This this is literally on my machine at 1,000 stitches per minute. It's a 2-minute stitch up. It takes you longer to line things up than it does to actually stitch. Put it back in the machine carefully. I always lift up, make sure that nothing got shifted underneath. And we'll go ahead and stitch the last part. Alright, and you're all done. Check the back before we do anything to make sure everything's stitched, nothing turned, nothing got caught in a corner, flipped up on us and sewed together. How many times have we done that? A couple times. Get the seam ripper and rip it out and start over. But we did good. Everything looks good. Take that off. Take our tape off. And there we go. Sew it out. Everything's even. My buttons or snap is right lined up. Still in here. I'm actually going to do 2 more because I had 2 more customers hear about it while she was ordering it, and they wanted to order one as well. So I'm going to stitch out probably like 2 more. I have room for 1 more up here that I can just shift where I'm at, and I can just scoot it up. Here's my center line. I'll probably do a video on that. If you're interested, give me a thumbs up, give me the comment and say, yeah, you'd like to learn how to shift things in your hoop on a multi-needle. I have a 10 needle. Baby lock, which is probably the same, or it is the same as the brother as well, 10 needle. So I'll give you ideas on how to line things up and how to adjust it. So I'm going to make a few more, and then I'll meet you at the table on how to cut it out. Okay, we have it out of our hoop. We're going to remove the stabilizer. A little tedious getting all those little pieces out. So once we remove that, I'm going to go ahead and take my straight edge, and we're going to cut at 1/8. And on this ruler, this is kind of cool, on this ruler, I love this ruler, it has the dotted lines, which is my 1/8 line. The solid one is my 1/4 inch. Really easy to lay that dotted line right on top of my stitch line. And we're going to go this way because I have that little bit tough with already having a snap in there, so we're just going to kind of bend our ruler a little bit over it. And hopefully we get that straight line. Or we can use scissors. So I'm going to do my first straight line here. Hold it straight. Not too bad, but it's a little harder with that snap already on there, so I'll go ahead and do a cutting with the scissors and show you how I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start my bottom straight line and keep my scissors close up, or the vinyl close up into my scissors, and do a nice cut. That'll be the end, so I can cut it off. Do my curving. I'll start on the back side. This is the nicer stitching side, so I usually will cut with the nicer stitch side showing. We'll keep our blade straight up and down. I'm going to do a cut, and I don't go all the way to the end of my tip of my scissors. I'm going to scoot up inside, cut, scoot up. I'm pushing and keeping that vinyl tight into my scissors. Scoot it up, start the cut. We're right at that end, so careful when you get to less layers. Be a little easier to cut. And then when I get to my curve part, I'm going to keep that vinyl up in my scissors, and I'm going to move my project. And I'm not going to go all the way. I can't. I don't want to. I'm going to stop and switch my hands. I'm going to slide my scissors back up, keeping that vinyl tight inside my scissors. I'm going to curve around again, watching my lines. If I feel like I'm getting off my line, then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to reposition my scissors once again and scoop my project into my scissors, and then I can start cutting and going around again. There we go. So I'll go ahead and cut this one as well with my scissors to show you how I do that. There is no snap on this one. I did this separately so that we can try to figure out if this will fit. This will just squeeze in there to put a button in or a snap in. So I left it off to be a little easier. So in this one here, we can go ahead and use our straight rule since it's flat. And I've got my lines. I'm going to cut straight up and making sure that my cutter is straight and not curved or tipped. Cut my other side. Put my dotted line right on my stitch line. And we're going to go straight with the blade, cut. Once again. And this one you can tell I had a slight little, my vinyl, I used a scrap piece and it wasn't quite big enough, so I'm going to move my lines in just a tiny bit. I'm going to put my, my dotted 1/8, I'm going to move it to the inside of my stitch line. That way I can just get to the line of where my scrap piece ended. And then I don't have my felt hanging off. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this side as well. I'm going to put my 1/8 line just to the inside of my stitch line. So we're cutting kind of close, but at least it'll be even and look nice. There we go. I've got even sides. I'm going to take my scissors. Inexpensive, 99-cent store scissors. Your scissors will dull really quick with vinyl and felt and fleece. So it's not worth getting an expensive pair of scissors to be cutting your vinyl, and you can see these scissors just cut right through it, no problem. Sometimes it's a bad pair or hit and miss, but for 99 cents you can't beat it. Once they go dull, they become my paper scissors. So I'm going to do my curve part, and I'm going to use the scissors for that. So I'm going to start at the edge, keeping my distance, trying to be the same distance that I have here with my 1/8 all around it. So I start with the inside of my scissors. Everything is always cut into this part. So try to get a comfortable pair that you're able to open up and use the inside, the back side of your, or the back portion of your scissors, not the tip. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to move my project. I'm going to reposition, and I've still got the project in the scissors tight. I'm going to open the scissors back up. I'm going to curve around again. Reposition, and I'm coming towards my last part, and there we go. Very even cut. We're all set. Now for our snap, I have my position already marked. I'm going to poke the awl in it, put my snap in, attach the mail, use my hand press. I would normally use my table press, but I'm showing you on video. So I'm going to use the hand press, and like I said before, my wrist is not really good with the hand press, so I use the edge of the table to give me leverage. So I have it already ready to go, set up, and I'm going to use the edge of my table. I'm going to put this bottom part here on the table, and I'm going to press down. And we're all set. It happened to work out great. Snaps good. We always check our snaps to make sure they close and open well. Perfect lineup. There's my crease, or my fold line to help it fold easier. And let's get our tweezers. Tweezers pop in, closes up, perfect. If you want, you can round off your little edges. If you don't want to round them off, you can leave them square, you're fine. I use my little lighter for these little edges that are popped up. I don't have it with me, sorry. So I'm going to just clip them a little bit, but I'll go ahead and singe my little ends. Clip any other ends that are hanging out. And that's the perfect little pouch for your scissors. And there we go. I have two of them here made, one with a hot pink and regular pink. So this is a very simple project, quick and easy project for the tweezer. I call it the tweezer pouch from badbobbin.com. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, ring that bell. You'll get more ideas. Make comments. Let me know how you like or don't like it, if it helped you, it didn't help you, if there's anything else you want to see me do. I will be more than glad to try to get a video for you to do that, and I need ideas for you so I can keep up doing the fun stuff. So here is my tweezer snap pouch from badbobbin.com. Thanks for joining me. See you at the cutting table.